Loncat. Lihat dong. Coba lihat YouTube lah. YouTube blog.
Nggak ada.
Masa nggak ada?
Oh ada.
Abu-abu lah ya dah.
Masih setting. Kok hitam?
Hah? Hitam?
Udah.
Udah bener kan?
Iya.
Emang ada suaranya?
Ada nggak suara?
Aman,
Oh kecil.
aman.
Suara gede dulu suaranya.
Kata agak.
Towards the north, maybe just scouting out that dire triangle. Of course, power rooms are coming up very close.
Versi LGD main bacot.
You want to try and secure both sides as well here. This game actually just gonna go for the block on the A.
Midnya pakai siapa?
Not have caught him doing that. I believe he was with the
Lawan.
Enggak ya Bumi?
well, nothing to say.
Masuk Mars.
Oh Mars.
Ini lu buka OBS lagi.
Hah?
Nah, video capture-nya lu nyalain.
Hmm?
Video capture enggak, sorry, video capture lu turunin ke enggak. Lu tinggal nyalain video capture aja.
Wah.
Terus?
Video capture bukan gitu ya. Salah enggak? Video capture matiin yang satu mati.
Lagi nonton.
Matanya hilangin. Nah, yang ini video capture paling atas nyalain. Enggak. Itu matanya.
Hmm?
Nah, satu lagi sama image.
Muka gua doang dong.
Yaudah masuk ke situ.
Yoi, ganteng banget muka gua anjing. Nggak bakal ada nonton ini guys. Iya. Kalah kah? Anjing udah 4-0 aja. Sulit kayaknya Bum nih.
Suara in game nggak ada ya?
Hah? Nggak ada.
Sini nggak ada.
Di mana nggak ada? Di streamnya nggak ada streamnya.
Iya.
Bukan streamnya.
Twitchnya.
Di stream.
Twitch lo naikin volumenya Gam.
Udah paling gede.
The timings for Boom, it's so level dependent. You're waiting for the egg to kind of tie in with the arena. You want more levels up on your Tusk for a little bit more damage and a little bit more utility out from the snowball and the shards. And you kind of want Jackie to just farm. They need to kind of get their supports online and really get
Wah, Hopi Jepoy.
FPZ online with Phoenix because that's their big combo. The arena egg, it's got to come into play at some point.
It certainly does, and you're always going to have to be worried about seeing Q in the end of the day, right? With that,
Perlu
that little
gara-gara
shuttle.
ini OBS
Shoot that
virtual
level one mark
kamera
of the
ya.
egg.
Itu ya, share screen ya.
LGD, they'll slow the game down a little bit. No need to rush this one, though. As I say that, we do have a rotation into the mid lane. Yopaj, a bit of danger here as Q once again with a fantastic rotation, backing up, nothing to say, but do they have the damage this time around? Yopaj gonna try to run, but they've got it. The Tidebringer was there, and now the cookie back out from Q. They won't care for the Tusk kill. No need to overextend for that. They've got the big one already.
They're just tempering themselves so well on LGD. They saw that move
Gagal kah?
down from the sports down bot. They knew they had enough space to go for Yopaj. They scouted out for the chip in the bot lane.
Ya, tapi kalau
Yopaj
nggak
just
kita
can't do
nonton
much.
di
The
Discord-nya
moment he gets X'd up, he do have enough
kalau
magical
kita
damage
nonton
on
di
LGD. And
YouTube-nya
Boom
ada
just trying to
suaranya.
get something on the side. So
Bukan
committing
begitu,
so much
bukan
time to try to find those pickoffs.
Gua belum buka YouTube-nya.
Slowly. Very, very tough start. I mean, you've just got to try and slow the pace down now if you are Boom. In the meantime, more stacks being made, but no, the sentry is still there. So they have not managed to deal with that sentry that was there by skimming.
Apa sih Animal Squad ya?
Really trying to slow down the pacing of
Lu hit aja yang
absolutely
di
everything
WhatsApp
to
tadi.
slow this man down. But he's still top of the
Ada
network.
suaranya anjing.
Jackie on the life stealer.
Iya, kalau di YouTube-nya ada suaranya.
Still
Nih, kita nih nonton dulu di Discord tuh ada suaranya.
Ada
Wah,
kok. Itu pada suaranya.
Ini di YouTube Gam.
Tetep ada, gua keplak pala lu.
Kan di YouTube ada, terus nggak ada apaan anjing.
Kan kita nonton dari Discord.
Oh, ada di Discord. Kan si Aga itu mah goblok.
Just gets punished. There was a smoke rotation out from Boom, trying to head up top, but they're still not.
Ya udah
finding
nobar
anything
dari
for the
YouTube-nya
trouble.
aja lah.
Yopaj around for that. It's
Kelamaan dong delaynya.
really working this map out really well. Just using the vision they have.
Lama ya delay?
He's got an arcane room, but in comes the
Wah,
compensation
kalah kan?
with Arme. Arena is down, but here come the
Oh,
kisses
diselamatkan,
too.
nice banget.
He'll buy them a bit of time, allow them to get away from those
Nah.
kisses, but it's still a lot of damage. Now the egg will be dropped down. Arme.
Aduh.
Ayolah, 1 kill lah.
He's the one in danger as he does go
Iya,
down
udah,
to
beda
wide.
berpenting doang soalnya,
PSG.LGD,
kagak
they'll just keep running. They might just want to reset
Kita
and just
nontonnya
back
di-
out of
di
this
Agol
team fight.
jadinya.
As it seems like Boom have brought Jackie
Nah,
over. But it's
wah.
going to be a bit of waste.
Nanggung, lagi war, lagi war.
Nothing gonna come out for Boom. LGD still
Berarti
7 in their favor. Boom to pick up 1 kill.
And you see how confident
Full
they
screen
are.
dong gua.
Dragon Ame, they start to
Ini
use
kan
that
gua nontonnya
momentum,
di
get a
Twitch,
little
anjir.
bit more vision out, get
Iya,
some
nggak
good
suaranya,
jumps
nggak
to
enak.
follow up.
Di YouTube ada.
And the egg, the combination
Ini orang
of
goblok
Zay
banget dah,
and
anjing.
anyone in, LGD,
YouTube
they're just
delay, gue
sidestepping everything.
pukulin lo
They
anjir.
are not even giving Boom any leeway. Not a practice here. 0 kills on the board. Space beyond.
Waduh.
He'll take care of the bot T1 tower, has the Mask of Madness up, gonna make very, very quick work of it. This is what I was kind of mentioning earlier, John, like against the lifestealer, you're gonna have such a good time bashing Jackie up if he does get caught out with the initial stun, and see if they can capitalize on it later on. For now, I mean, with the 6k net worth lead, they can basically do whatever the hell they want, LGD.
Yeah,
Wih,
they've got free
bisa
reign of the
7
map.
guys.
They've got some pretty good wards by the ramp sides on the river.
Guys, bisa
so
7
they're
guys.
always going to be able to check if Boom is trying to sneak around
7
without the smoke.
7 guys.
Boom for their part just
Aja.
gets stuck on there.
Botnya berapa bot
They're
nih?
not able to cross that
Botnya
river.
3.
They're not able to really scout out, use that deep ward they have on the top jungle to stop any of this farm game. It's just a very static.
Sama 7-0 juga nih skornya. Sama 7k network klik juga.
Gua kalau Artep pindah ya, anjing.
Ya, lu nggak boleh Artep lah, blok.
They've even got
Astaga.
the early mech up and running for Y, so much more sustaining of these fights. Considering how durable you are with Shen, with
Bentar,
Kunkka and the
kalah
Bo3,
banget networknya anjir.
even if Boom somehow managed to get that initiation, it doesn't feel like they have enough damage to eat through that.
Absolutely not. And we're talking about damage, LGD, they've got all the damage. Like, you're pointing out the Deso on Arme coming out with the corrosive haze on top of that. Armlet's just going to do nothing with all that bonus armor you get there on Jackie, and just such a painful experience to have to try and deal with as LGD. They are starting to move in, but Boom are waiting. In there goes Jackie. They find Y. They do have the help around them.
Lah,
Trying to save the day of the champ, but the Y is still going to drop. That's
Bisa
why.
ya.
Jago anjir.
The pause fight
Langsung
kills,
teriak-teriak.
but it is the first kill of the game.
Udah teori bersyukur goblok.
Start.
It's a start.
Ini kalah posisinya dapat 1 udah alhamdulillah harusnya.
Cheeky for
Aduh,
Sakit
sakit
ya.
banget gila.
Almost finds
Aduh,
Tibbs with the snowball.
tahu.
By a little bit of time as Tibbs is still gonna drop
Ah,
it now.
pernah kah?
Ya, si Japoy.
Bounces there as well.
Ah, dibilang teori bersyukur, goblok. Ah,
Survival just put the stuns out from LGD. Into the tier 1 mid tower they go.
Kalah
And
guys.
it doesn't take too long to
Kalahnya
watch
udah.
just how much
Nggak betting gua lain.
Enggak baru game 1 guys. Close
ya
lagi.
kalau betting juga ke PSG lah.
Iyalah, ngapain kamu?
Bentar ya.
Realistis aja lah.
Coming in one by one, they find that one kill in the
Ada
channel,
rugi.
and then they just
Jam
don't
terbang
manage to
beda
get
coy.
anything out.
PSG sama
They
Boom.
don't manage to play with their combinations, and LGD just
Wah,
recognize that. When
kan
they split
ini
up, when the X not a threat, they've got a
Kemarin
huge
kan habis.
Here we go.
Nah, bisa lah, ngececen mula lumayan lah.
Nah,
Caught out.
Astaga.
Cookie is gonna be there. Y will be just fine. Snowball, they're gonna follow up. They
Nah,
really
duit,
want
duit.
something for their troubles.
Nggak mati
The hand
pun
of God was
anjir
there.
nih.
Y still running. Tornado away. It's
Anjir
just
dulu
Wah, gila.
commit the arena for
Boros
this.
banget dah, tapi
Steady commitment from Boom, but considering the state of the game right now, they need everything they can get.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the same kill back to back. It's just not swinging that much net worth. You have to commit so many heroes in. It's a lot of space for LGD. They're just able to go elsewhere, able to get that build up they want on Ame, on Nothing to Say, and on Fate Beyond. And there's just no stopping those fours. Me and Boom are lagging behind by a pretty big margin 14 minutes in, 8k net worth
Miskin
deficit.
banget sih Jackie-nya ini.
And the
Belum
timings for
update.
LGD are just ramping up. You know, more damage coming out from Kunkka. BKBs will come out soon. On top of that, that's what's
ball trampolan sama Sladar juga kalah kali ya.
Kalah lah.
Kalah.
to deal with
Udah
any
emo
of that
M aja
smoke.
sadarnya.
Yeah, you certainly don't have much. Zalmay just continuing that
Tadi di Discord
farm.
baru
Third
masuk
right
dua
now.
orang
Only
nih.
third to both his two calls
Itu namanya
on LGD.
viewer kan.
Nothing
Oh,
to say,
yeah.
still at the top somehow, considering how much they tried to shut the man down, and was Faith Beyond right behind him. Almost has his BKB up now, and that's going to be very problematic. Worry about anything here from Boom once you have that upper pump from Jackie, but he's just nowhere near the stage where he's ready to fight.
kalah nih.
Again, they can just happily slow the game down, understanding Their own strategy, their own
Sama,
draft.
nggak apa-apa.
Wait till
Jangan dong.
get going
Tenang.
once again.
Ngukur orang.
Boom. All they can do, I mean, this is the draft where they want to try and move in and start fighting early on, but they just
Biasa
can't
boomnya kena
make it happen
mental.
right now. They've got to sit back and relax.
Larder, Bang.
They need to wait for their own VKBs, maybe a
Kan
blink
gitu
coming
ya,
out,
ini
you'll
bum-bumnya
punch down the line,
bum-bum kar.
kinda
Waduh.
help them
Waduh.
set up with a better
Bum-bum
arena
caca
defense,
bum.
get better heroes out, and ensure the
Lu udah
speed
sehat, Yan?
is on target and have that follow through from the egg. 'Cause
Padahal
you
dia
are
dapat
playing against
plastik
a snap, as
Tahu.
long as the snap
Yan, lu udah sehat, Yan?
outside arena, you're pretty okay in
Hah?
protecting
Udah sehat?
the egg. So your combinations
Alhamdulillah.
can still
Alhamdulillah.
kick off.
Bisa rank lagi
Berarti
dong.
bisa Dota, guys.
It's a lot harder
Lu
than
pura-pura
what
mati.
LGD has.
Bisa Dota
All
dong.
they need to do is throw out an X, get a blink up on your
Bisa.
Slardar down the
Woi,
line, maybe after
dari
the
Crusader
BKB,
anjir tuh lu
and you
ranknya.
just have low commitment initiation.
Keren
It's
banget
not
gua.
too much.
Gua GB barusan.
Keep that aggressive
Iya,
going.
percaya gue ngapel sama lu,
Can't
Pel.
risk it. They just have to keep playing the slower game, take what space
Ini,
they
ini,
can, and LGD are just
udah
thriving in that
mainin,
environment.
Well, they've got a scan out on Sync
Lah,
Q.
berarti gua nggak boleh main punya gua sendiri dong.
Right now,
Iya,
PSG.LGD, they'll
Yah, waktu dah, Cewek.
trying to find the maiden.
Susah nih kayaknya nih.
Gua apaan sih lu? Langsung gue copot ah udah. Send
Gak,
gua.
ya.
Stick around.
Percuma lu ngaji blok.
Very confident with their own positioning, understanding.
Nihil ego, nihil pahala lu.
Nah, ini mau basic.
Step boom will just pick their way out, understanding.
Bener, emang hidup lu emang seimbang enak.
Right now. Not even these smaller pickoffs.
Ya,
Jackie now double damage.
Yeah.
He's going to be picked up, but he does
Too
try to
soon.
rage away
Ah.
from it.
enggak.
The X that is, nothing to say. Not going to be able to stop him this time. So important for Jackie to just keep that farm going. But now he'll hang around that radiant triangle to stay within the safety
Dia hitam.
of the radiant jungle.
They don't have the best vision
Keras
right
banget
now
ya.
from
Apa namanya?
Boom to
Berekatnya si
protect
Boom
himself.
anjir.
Only one defensive board down, Bot
Dari awal.
away from Jackie. They do go for a
Ketemu
smoke
tim
play.
Spirit.
Sendo. Might
Habis
find
itu
them-
LGD
might
kalau nggak
find some
secret.
confusing, although why is
Ah,
that?
dapat.
Ya, oke lah.
Iya, iya.
Apa-apa itu? Oh, yang bawah. Yang ada killing spree-nya.
Di
ulti.
Di ulti sama Chen selamat nih. Ah, nice.
Si Indra tuh nyampah anjing.
Iya, goblok.
Yeah, that's a
Bukan
much
dikasih
bigger deal.
meat-nya goblok lah.
That streak coming off, Tim's gonna
Ya,
get a
udah
nice
nggak
injection of
dapet,
bullets to work for its
Kenapa
potentially
FBG
down the
pakai
line
Phoenix ya?
which is gonna be key to save out. However,
Kayaknya nanti buat counter Slardar.
Ya, alhamdulillah.
Got
Tapi
the
nggak
BKB
juga
up
lah.
on Fade Beyond, so the Slardar really has nothing to worry
Buat
about.
ngurangin attack speed doang. Nanti
Iya,
lah.
tapi nggak
With
ngaruh-ngaruh
that
banget.
Desolator up and running on Ave,
Lawasan.
and this is them
Nggak, dia
taking it without the course of hate.
Kan
Once
ada
Fade
step
Beyond's there,
lain
this
deh.
is not gonna take too long, and again, boom, they don't
Nah,
have the
Counter itu namanya.
It's going to be a very, very fast process. Boom, they are making their way over, maybe trying to force a fight as the shards are out, and they really don't want to let this one go down. But how do you initiate a team fight here? Wukong's being committed by Arme. There's just no chance in hell. So LGD, they'll take the first Roshan of the game. Defend that mid tier 1 tower, and it might be just time to group up the smoker.
They've got all the tools
Belum
they
game
need
2
here.
nih, Boom bakal
Huge fights
dibantai
out.
lagi.
And with a fresh BKB on, with a fresh BKB on, nothing to say. And these team fights,
Jangan dong.
it's not gonna feel
2-0
great.
ini gue
Nothing
yakin
to
mah.
pierce through unless they somehow get a full channel.
Wah, wah. Ada ini
Yuh,
kan
Indie home kayaknya anjing.
headset. Wah,
Headsetnya apaan nih?
dari awal udah disabotase nyata guys. Sama PSG.
Headsetnya 30.000 kali nih.
Iya.
Headset Samsung.
Headsetnya nih, headset kancing kayak Kurnia dulu.
Waduh. Tuh mic goblok. Mati udah, mati ya pacar anjing, nggak ada tombak. Selamat anjir.
Gocekan maut. Mantap.
Kan Bang Jarot.
Has his own BKB up now as well.
Yeah, that would have been massive if they managed to kill him off. He
Aduh,
barely had
supporternya
bullets
masih
by
semangat dong.
So that would have stalled.
Ya, scam.
Ya, aduh ketemu begituan anjir.
Yo, iya nih.
He's gonna get caught.
Udah jadi oyang anjing.
He's taking down the pulse 5 CM and does not.
Wow, udahlah.
He's a much bigger target.
Nggak bisa
Ini
apa.
nggak bisa tele, nggak bisa. Masuk.
Oh, pas banget. Nice gila.
Itu baru bisa tele gitu tuh.
Iya.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing ini.
People coming out there right in the nick of time for Jackie to just infest away.
Tapi iya ya, naik skala sama Lestrak. Lestrak. Sadar.
But you're still not gaining too much ground. You are at least
Nah,
getting
kalau
that build up
Kalau
you
udah jadi
want
sama-sama
onto
jadi sih,
Jackie here.
menang.
And
Wah,
he's
kena.
working onto
Nah,
zone
salah
defense.
tetep lah.
Run into each other again.
They may nothing to
Stunnya.
Ya.
Ya, pemakai miss udah deh. Abort.
Kabur.
Jackie with the X-Back, but it's not gonna work.
Initiate retreat.
Shards won't be on the mark.
Wah, Jepoy nervous nih kayaknya.
LGD just trying to
Iya
control
nih.
that radiant jungle for now. At least the
Kena Covid kah? Kena Covid
such
kah?
a valuable position for them to be in. Just bully out the side of Boom Esports and don't allow Jackie that safer farm. right into the top tier 1 tower. They
Ini
go.
pasti Shinki udah ini nih, cuci muka dia.
Udah lah. Nguap mulu anjing kerjaannya Shinki.
Not allowing you to farm in any safe position. Very strong play here from LGD, and you kind of wonder what Boom does about it.
They're just trying to retake control. They
Look at them.
you do have
Waduh.
really good forward vision here from LGD with their observer warrants here. They're going to be able to see who's farming in the bot jungle. And they're really
mainnya
still
cepet
safe.
amat.
They just still up for
Iya.
2 minutes 40. They just melt these objectives.
Lagi bisa cepet, kenapa harus lama?
Low Shredder and the Desolator up and running. It doesn't take long to just wipe this map out from Boom.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Wow.
LGD, they'll even find the top tier 2 tower, no problem. Calm play from
Menit
LGD.
20
Ini
nggak ada.
10 kill pertama pasti PSG guys. Bet.
Care of the defense of the T1.
Ya kan, bettingnya nak.
Currently just playing the
Arcana
avoiding game,
satu
not
main.
wanting to
Balik modal Yan, balik modal Yan.
Tampar ya.
close to 11k behind.
Aduh, gua cabut dulu izinnya dulu.
Typically as a group right now, but the problem is you are
Bisa,
still
ya,
kind of being
nanti
choked
harus
out.
ada-
You're not getting any farm, and you're letting Ame get all the farm in the
Ah,
world right
anti-mobil.
now. That's going to be a huge problem.
It's going to be a
Mobile.
massive issue. And one
Out
thing
there,
that Boom
bro.
does have to play with now is a fresh blink up on Tim.
Itu give-givein aja Ndra, Arcana Ndra.
With the snowball, they can try to be a little bit more aggressive. Think
Gua
you can
ledakin
take
bener
the
rumah lu,
just
Ndra,
want
bener,
Yoko's blink at this point. Again, have that arena at the ready. Try to get some control out. Try to kill some of these key heroes. LGD just don't provide any openings. They're sticking loosely together in the same side of the map. Again, they've got better control. Really good wards to watch that top lane and just
Ngapain dia pakai
Udah
Satu
rage,
area.
marah-marah.
And once they commit to a push, Boom just don't even bother trying to defend. So they might be able to get away with maybe all the tier 2s very soon.
It does seem
padahal
that way.
lagi
The
grip
bottom
kanan.
tier 2 tower just going to go down for absolutely nothing. Boom Esports just no interest in trying to defend. They will let it go down. LGD acting like they might go high ground here. I'm not quite sure about that one, but with the Deso up on Armin.
Kalau last picknya Timber, mending nggak sih?
Timber enggak lah, mas kalam sladar ini kayaknya.
It's not going to be a long process. Not with Faith beyond an Arme, just hitting away at that tier 3 tower. FBZ and Tim's
Last picknya habis Master juga enak harusnya sih.
Arme, he'll get forced off the way and he'll be just fine. They don't want to take the fight anyway. With the Aegis up, they'd rather
Apa
force
di
him
ban
to be
bis
back.
Master ya?
It's a substantial amount of damage being dealt by LGD. I think Boom will just be satisfied with the fact that their base is still intact for now.
Has cost them at least one fortify and a lot of TPs.
Wah, 13.000.
Just hanging around trying to farm top. They will try
Berat,
to
berat.
off the back of that though. Might be able to snipe someone out while Nothing to Say did head up top at LGD. Very synchronized retreat coming out. Maybe Boom just not gonna be able to really maximize this smoke. They need the kills. They've got to find a pick off somehow.
Where do they go? Very hard position for Boom. They've got to try and find a way to get towards that Roshan pit, but it's just not that easy crossing that mid lane. There's nothing to say. He is going to show himself on that Kunkka. He has the X-Pack, so he knows he's safe. No way to lock him down. He's again, biding their time.
Tapi belum main kaya
More
sih
time over
Daki.
to Jackie, who's not too far behind. He's about 2.3k behind Arme right now, but
Bisa
considering
harusnya
the
Daki
state of the
Daki.
map, it's just so hard to find that farm. It's not really only Arme you have to worry about, because again, Faith Beyond, he's pretty much transitioned to his own style of carry now, going into the Blink Dagger. Doesn't really need it, but just with that massive initiation now on the Slaughter, it's just, for Jackie, it's just so hard to get away.
It's an extremely difficult time for him. You're so armored up now on the Kunkka. Again, with all the saves you also have on LGD,
Daripada fenomena.
you don't really have the high splash damage on
Lah,
him.
bagusan Fenomenter lah.
Away at one fella for a very long time, and it just doesn't feel like you'll be
Gak tau
able
ya,
to
gue kalau
sustain
ngeliat
that. LGD
apa
going
sih
out for the
lagi
smoke play
turunnya
now.
ada yang nge-pick
Aegis
fenomena
is
itu
gone.
dia bawaannya, oh udah
They
pasti
don't
kalah
have the
gitu.
safety jacket. It doesn't feel like they even need it.
Kayak
does not.
ini kayak lu
Be
lagi main
aggressive
nih.
here. Boom.
Terus
Pretty
lu
patiently
kasih
waiting in the trailing. They seem to have an idea. LGD are looking
Pikir
for a fight.
fenomena itu, waduh. Agak ada
Triple
harapan
triangle
guys.
for now, LGD.
Astaga.
Scan is there from Boom.
Bukan, ini
Exactly
bukan
where
YouTube deh.
LGD are at the moment.
ESPORT.
Get 14k deficit. They don't
Kan?
want the fight right now.
Orang
It does seem like they're going to successfully be
Ya,
able to
apaan
get away from LGD. Thing is, if you are LGD, you might just set up for the mid-tier 2 tower now. It's the only outer tower left standing. Seems like Y is just going to get started. Busy doing a decent enough job with the
Tahu lah gua
support,
PSG
the Fire Spirits just kind of pushing them back. As he does see nothing to say, does not really want to deal with the Conquer right now. LGD. Can find a
Wah,
double damage
Dede.
room now for nothing to say. This could be prime opportunity for them to try and force another
Dede.
fight. Thing is, they've got to find Boom East.
I don't mind LGD actually just playing this safe. They've got control of the triangle. They've got the superior precision to push into that tier 2. Whereas Boom have to play on the low ground on the defense. Doesn't feel great. You've got to blink upon your punch.
Mati dah.
You've got a way to initiate it. Again, it's so difficult to find the right target here to combine with FBZ's egg. They will go for a smoke.
Apa?
Be very awful timing though with that rune available. Boom. They're gonna try for this. They've got a bit of vision in that mid lane, but they don't know where LGD are right now. Maybe they've got a brief idea, but the smoke is there. Faith beyond. He's gonna have his smoke broken. Yopaj not reacting quick enough to catch him out. So now both teams understand exactly where each other are.
Gila, pas cobat, bang.
They're being very, very careful with their own position. They understand they've kind of missed their opportunity to surprise LGD. They are just gonna back their way out once again. You really do need that perfect initiation in this kind of game.
And it's just so difficult to find it. Like, you have so many things to worry about. Can you really try to kill off Kunkka in the first burst salvo? Can you try to take care of the Monkey King? Maybe you have to take care of Faith Beyond, just in case Jackie gets focused on down the line. The threat of the snap bar is always there for SinQ if he is inside the arena and the egg's in the right or the same spot as he is. So it's very conditional for Boom. And for LGD, it's just such a clean game. 3-10, 15k lead, 25.5 minutes in. They've choked out Boom to pretty much just stay at the bot jungle area for their own farm and Jackie.
Gonna get jumped on here down at bot lane. Does have the range available, so we're trying to run. As now Faith Beyond is gonna make his way over, but a nice invest blink away. So they should be just fine though. Faith is still trying.
Wah, begitu lagi selamatnya.
Getting Skim out of there as well, so he's fine. So it seems like they are not going to be able to catch up once again. Boom doing a fantastic job of avoiding the side of LGD. LGD just kind of running across the map, trying desperately to find a pickoff, but finding absolutely nothing. It's really turning to a game of hide and seek this game one.
They're just poking, prodding, waiting for those items up on Boom and LGD. Again, they would want to get some kills. They need a kill.
Boom harus ngindarin warna.
Iya sih.
Might get aggressive.
They do see the rune though, nothing to say. Ready, but they're still gonna jump in.
Wah, BKB cepet banget gila. Kok bisa sih? Kok bisa langsung BKB nih? Nggak logis.
Si Agam belum
Very comfortably taking that team fight. It didn't seem like they were worried whatsoever.
harus ngindarin war jeder.
Tim's manages to blink and get the walrus punch off, but once
Hari-hari.
the spear and BKB's turn on, Arena does
Malah Boom harus dapat kill anjir.
back those kills
Ngetin dia
into
soalnya.
the Roche once more LGD go. They've got the security now for a tier 2 to the high ground.
You see just the quick BKB up from the stage, unable to get the spear off in time, and that's
Sejak poin kelamaan kah?
right. Like, you get the boat off, you're so much stronger, and of course FBZ with the egg as well, just a bit out of position I would argue, way too far forward, making it way too easy for LGD to just take him out, and now they're onto the tier 3 tower. It's a clinic so far from LGD.
Masih direlain nih guys, kayak game pertama nih.
Iya.
The tier 3, not gonna
Wah.
last too long with all this minus armor available from
Kalah
Bareng.
hero sih nih.
Tapi yang game kedua juga harus hati-hati lah.
Just down the front lines is the Monkey King as the BKB has been
Anjir,
forced out once again.
cepet banget.
He will not land. They do find a tier 3 though, and LGD.
Main Dota mulu kali tuh mereka ya, jadi jago banget.
BKB's down for Arme. They don't want to
Pasti
risk
dong.
it, even with the Aegis up.
Oh,
You might
iya.
as well wait till the BKB's back up and available and just just go high ground again. In the
Main
meantime, though, we
kerja
do
kur
have
dia.
a 5-man smoke up.
Oh
Kerja
kerja ya
Dota
bener.
mulu dia.
See if Boom can
Kerja.
try to find a little bit more.
Main Dota kalau
Episode 1.
They'll find Sync on that
Nah,
snap
mana
fire.
aku lah.
It's not the biggest kill, but it is something.
Hari bersyukur inget Boom.
You take what you can get now when you're this far behind. 19k.
Dia nggak pernah diajarin bersyukur kan sama Pak Ustadz ya.
Enggak lah.
Much needed
Pendeta
kills
ngajarin
enough
juga
for
nggak sih?
Watch to find, and you know you're not under too much pressure. You're gonna have egg off cooldown in a few seconds. Arena not the longest in the world, so you can kind of just take your time here as LGD. I mean, they've got a lot of security on hand, right? Like Aegis still up and running for 3 minutes and a half. Scotty being built up by Ame, so durable on this Monkey King, and just taking away the healing that Jackie will want to do when he's right clicking away. It's not getting any easier for the lifesteal. This is just not a game where it feels like Jackie can just simply farm and carry the team. Everyone's gonna have to work as a unit here up against LGD, and they're just looking way more coordinated. Their movement's just been perfect.
That they are down at bot lane. Faith Beyond, gonna see Tim's, but the blink away is gonna be there. Still Faith. We'll get a corrosive haze off, but that's about it. The LGD might be in a position now where they just push high ground again. The BKB is back up on Arme. Very, very good timing here from LG, just waiting that item out, and in they go. For the bottom tier 3 tower, boom, they will try to set up for this team fight. It's just so rough to see how you get the initiation off before the BKBs, but there it is. They've got the conquer, nothing to say. He's a big target, but he's gonna get out.
Allah,
Jackie's the one to drop, and now
ya Allah,
Pun kayaknya nggak mati guys.
Oh, it was such
tidak
a great start, but they find
nggak
nothing.
mati.
Wah GG.
Wah,
GG guys, 29 menit guys.
Wah si Gama tuh.
Agak
lawannya orang nolep, anjir nolep semua anjir. PSG.LGD anjir nggak punya kehidupan, Dota terus anjir, jadi jago
Ada.
banget.
Kehidupannya main Dota.
Kehidupannya main Dota makan doang. Itu aja.
Bukan turnya main Dota, belakangnya tank ini kalau dia
The healing was there. They had a rate pack up and running towards the end.
Absolutely. This is more like the LGD we're used to seeing.
Kan
I think
main
we're gonna have
salah-salahan
to
dia.
give Boom a call that we're gonna need to shake
Mati
some
dibunuh
Jonathan, 'cause,
banget.
things are looking rather tough here for game 1. We'll see how they change
Kalau
up
kalah
game
mati
number 2, but
anjir.
very, very soon.
Pertaruhannya jadi
I'm sure
jago
they'll go
banget.
for a reset.
Iya,
Try to talk
dia
about
kalah
what
nih,
happened.
udah
What do you think
namanya hilang
actually
udah.
went wrong here for Boom? Like, was it a drafting issue? I mean, you talked about the coordination.
Dicoret
already.
dari dokumen negara
Is there
juga
something else
ini.
you'd like to see them change up in game 2?
Ya lihat dari database nggak pernah lahir nih orang.
Maybe it did go back a little bit to the draft. Like we didn't see as much activity out from Skem and Tim's. That's where it feels like it really fell flat. Like towards the mid, you saw how much Sinq did with Watch.
Yeah.
Aduh, kayak harus cari ikhlas
But
kan
we are
guys.
going to head off back to the panel and see what they had to think about this game number 1.
my panel are laughing about. I think the observer got a crimson. Congratulations, maybe Scriff, maybe Web has, and I know there's other observers there. Patrick, yes. So yeah, first crimson we've seen, but
Yang di air.
thank you MLP Dota and John X5. Welcome back to the panel, and this looks like the team PSG.LGD. They've been runner-up twice at TI.
Main sama lu, Dra.
We said like, oh, they're shaky, but that wasn't a shaky game. That was just dominant, and a lot of teams.
Oh gue share screen toh goblok.
Aku sudah ngomong.
Defensive wards down, where like they just had the
Game
momentum
2,
so they could
2-0
survive
ini
and
mah.
just keep farming safely while they were crushing their lane.
Atau PSG mau ngasih ini hiburan.
So good. And then on top of that, they get this roach because Boom have to use like 3 or 4 heroes just to kill one single hero on bot, and they take that advantage to go to roach, get that, and then use the roach and Aegis to go deeper.
Ini bisa jadi turning point juga nih kalau tadi mati kun kayaknya nih.
Lane wards down like mid and top, and that way they're able to just keep hunting them.
Lizard, you pretty much, from the draft, you said I would much.
Wah, ditendang siapa dah?
PSG.LGD.
Terus ditendang si Indra tuh jadi keluar kun kayaknya nih.
Empire.
Ini pakai jarak udah ini dia udah siap.
Siapa yang mana kita nggak ngapin?
Masalahnya di sini plastik agak jelas.
Yang ngapik goblok anjing.
Musi tolong.
Kayaknya dia kagak ngeliat si Kim pakai setiap air tuh.
Ayo lah, apiknya kayak biasanya belum lah.
Tahu lah mitnya asik berdamage lah.
Oh.
Deh, FBG Pars nih.
Dia kasih FBG ini dah.
Kalau nggak mas inilah apa namanya? Beastmaster kayak ban gue enak nih.
Iya bisa masuk juga ya.
I wouldn't say a rocky start for Boom Esports, but what I did like what they
Dia
did.
duluan nih,
This is gonna sound a little bit weird. They GG'd early.
Bisa Jackie juga kasih BB. Bisa lah.
Kind of energy, because a lot of teams, fight to the death. But it's game 1. It's like, look, this is not working out. We've had that opportunity. I won't say GG early, sorry, but some teams
Cari
are like,
9.
okay, let's try and swing around. Let's use our buybacks. They were like, okay, we failed on the conquer. We're done. Let's just reset and go into game 2. But I think they've still got something to show here on the main stage.
Udah seger ya muka lu? Muka lu udah seger ya?
Iya, alhamdulillah.
Udah ke dokter ya?
Cek darah doang.
What would you like Boom to do
Apa?
coming into game 2? Obviously, you can say we're not going to
Tipes.
We're not gonna harp on that, but sometimes your draft is really difficult, right?
Tipes sama Samurat.
It's just about having
Samurat.
Makan kambing mulu ya.
Kagak emang dari dulu asam urat gue gede.
Emang ngaruh makan kambing? Asam urat kagak ngaruh, goblok.
Ngaruh lah.
Makan daun yang hijau-hijau gitu.
Ngaruh.
Lu makan kangkung, makan apa sih namanya?
Iya, emping.
Jamu
Emping.
Baru
Sama kambing.
Kambing mah darah tinggi bukan ya?
Oh iya, darah tinggi, salah guys.
Allah. Goblok banget sih kamu. Gue mikir keras ya.
Blok.
Ada lu makan kambing ngas aja.
Untung udah pakai headset.
Udah pakai headset, emang tahu juga ngas. Wah, siapa nih?
Hello, my friends. Yes, that is right. We are here in Singapore. In fact, for the Southeast Asian TI. In fact, with the greatest Southeast Asian casters in the last game of the last team in Southeast Asia, guys.
Ini pakai mulu ya?
Just want to come and talk to you honestly. These guys, MLP, John X Fire, the best in the world.
Ikonnya ya.
At casting C in this game, it just felt ironic to me. So I just wanted to thank you and introduce you, Casey.
Hah?
Cipper.
Reaper.
Cewek yang cewek.
Oh, Silver. Nggak tahu deh, biasanya ada.
MPL dulu
Astaga MPL.
Ini main siapa? Oh udah anjir. Aura BTR sama ngomong.
Nervous? No, but I kept expectations low. When we got the message, I couldn't believe it. Like I was
Orang pede banget anjing di situ.
I just sat down on the floor. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if it was real. It's just been it's different.
Ya BTR kagak anjir.
Yeah, I did finish. I cleaned up.
Kan BTR. Bigetron. Udah lama nggak denger deh.
Bigetron.
Waduh. Oh, udah sering denger gue barusan.
Nah gitu dong.
Mantap.
Ini siapa nih Reza Hidayatullah?
Yang nonton Gam.
Oh ada penontonnya anjing. Dari Mataram.
Wah, halo guys.
Udah keluar.
Emang kita ngomong kedengeran di streaming itu
Kedengeran
yang
lah.
Animal Squad.
Beneran?
Oh iya.
Emang ada yang nonton nggak?
Sekarang lagi nggak ada. Ini 20 view anjir. Banyak.
Bot kah?
Salah pilih. Mau nonton yang anonim, mau nonton yang e-bot malah. Hampir
Animal Squad.
Ini restream dari Twitch kena copyright kali?
Nggak tahu.
Mana kok udahan?
Lagi rehat dulu, tunggu tulis tuh rehat guys.
Ya udah sambil benerin gak mah yuk, benerin.
Udah bener kan?
Enggak. Enggak.
Apaan yang nggak bener ya?
Lu ada suara kayak tut gitu, apa ya?
Emang ada?
Iya.
Ya. Itu makanya gue bilang ada suara
Coba
kayak suara
lihat.
mesin anjing.
Iya makanya lu live di
Ini Discordan Nitro ya?
Enggak.
Kok mulus?
It does feel that PSG.LGD have a bigger ramp up. You know, they had more of a run for
Begitu sulit.
Lu salah ini kayaknya nih.
Apaan?
Like you can't compare their strengths when they're at full strength because they're not being able to give their all. But I do think one of the biggest issues they had was picking
ini
this
Gam.
5 stealer the way they did,
Buka
it allowed it to get countered.
Okay,
If they left FBZ's hero for
yang
last,
lu
I think
share
they
apaan
shouldn't
ini
have.
cuma ini doang.
Right? If
OBS
they focus on just giving Jackie a really
Dia kan
good
OBS
game
kan emang?
and let FBZ have that hero that might, you know, be a
Enggak.
little bit worse, I think that's better.
Yang
So
lu share.
opening up Jackie the carry, just a little bit.
Nah, buka OBS. Mikrofonnya lu ganti coba.
Ini.
Properties. Yes, defaultnya ganti, nah itu. Oke.
Terus?
Masih ada suara ngomong ya.
Coba cek.
Coba lu diem deh, lu jangan ngomong apa-apa. Itu tuh hijau-hijaunya masih naik. Oke, kita tambahin ini ya Gam. Tambahin yang ikon apa ya? QR.
Iya, ini gimana ya? Suara
Bro, nih gua tambahin di chat ya. Bacot udah anjing. Lo tambahin di Discord-nya add something, add web apalah gitu.
Di sini.
Add
Sawer call.
Ya, browser.
Waduh. Kalau mau ini Gam.
Nih, lo copyin ininya
Di mana?
di chat. Nah, lo copy tuh. Ukurannya 300 kali 300 aja. Ukurannya 300 kali 300. Udah oke. Nah, lo tambahin tuh, lo geserin. Mana kayak yang tidak terlalu mengganggu. Kecilin dikit nih.
Kecilan.
Bukan.
Nah, baru.
Kontrol.
Segini lah, paling bentar.
Ini aman. Lo namain aja itu. Browsernya lo namain, klik kan.
Ujung kanan bawah, Gam.
Rename.
Ujung kanan bawah ya?
Iya, ujung kanan bawah.
Apa sih namanya? QoS ya? QoS.
QR.
Oh, QR. Goblok.
Satu lagi. Sama kayak tadi caranya.
Gambar lu Gam, gak ada gambar lu masa?
Ntar dulu kan gue bilang suruh rehat. Satu lagi apaan?
Biar dia tahu rehat lu ngapain.
Waduh.
Voice. Ada yang nonton emang?
Ini apa?
Bud?
Hah?
Anu, coba cek dikeluarin ya.
Mau pakai genset, Pak?
Ada yang ngechat ping itu di live anjir.
Itu Reza Hidayatullah siapa?
Nggak tahu kayaknya.
Ayo kita rameinnya situ lah sambil rame-ramein. Makanya itu udah tambahin belum tadi?
Udah, Discord.
Nah, jangan di situ.
Gede tuh di live banget dah.
Biarin.
Goblok emang.
Geserin kayak kan ke bawah kan, tengah. Atas sedikit.
Harusnya yang live yang monitornya 2 nih.
Iya, kayaknya.
Yang di live emang ini? Enggak kan, yang di live cuma
ini yang gue live yang ini.
Yang di live kan bukan. Iya, maksudnya yang di live di YouTube bukan yang ini kan.
Oh, Higama.
Udah bener.
Nah, kita balik lagi coba.
Tengah. Udah tengah ya?
Kok nggak bisa muncul?
Udah. Udah tuh udah mulai Gam.
Nah, kok nggak muncul sih ini?
Lah itu
yang
matiin
ini,
lah,
salah.
rehatnya matiin aja.
Oh iya, salah guys. Masih ini pemula.
Amatir nih.
Amatir guys.
Agak. Go. Live. Oh, udah. Wah. Ini Ame nggak ada obat sih, sumpah. Dia makan apa juga?
Kangkung.
Belum makan kangkung, jadi nggak lete.
Bukan kangkung, tapi genjer.
Genjer.
Genjer dong.
Barcode-nya halangin guys, barcode-nya.
ESPORTS versus PSG.LGD. PSG turn to ban.
Wah, apa-apa udah di-share sama Ria.
Kali aja dia mau nyawer.
Nyawer sini gue sawer.
Sawer gitu buru.
Udah tinggal lu buka aja.
PSG di live-nya udah di setting belum? Kalau ada ini, kalau ada sawer dia muncul.
Belum.
Oh di ban Enik mah langsung PSG. Respect banget ya berarti.
Tadi kalah ya?
Kalah.
Gets them through, but actually PSG they respond by banning the Marty themselves. So
Boom.
Do we now have to ban the Primal Beast so PSG don't get it? Do we maybe ban a different hero? They take Primal Beast and we can then go for like a Clockwork Strike instead. Many options.
There's so many options. There's Clockwork, there's
Morpling
Primal
Bear.
Beast that you mentioned.
Ini si
Undying
Mushi
as well.
sosok
That's not
pinter
really
anjing, lu nge-pick
in the
tadi
fondest
tanggung
memories
jawab
of
lu
all
blok.
PSG.LGD's fans
Phoenix
when it comes to crucial
anjing.
games.
Troll banget anjir si jago.
Definitely for PSG.LGD they are. They still go for it.
Ngoblok emang benci Cina tolong.
Waduh, ini lagi level. Namanya Nopel.
Kayak ngomong di warkop anjing.
Muhammad Nopel.
Kiamat.
Nama doang bawa nabi anjing.
Kalau gila bajak Nopel anjing.
Iyalah.
In SCA, I've seen it in different regions. I've seen the silencer on offlane. I've seen it work amazing against them. Is that perhaps an option that they can go for as well?
Wih, akhirnya logo boom nempel di TI guys. Yang penting itulah.
Thinking the same, like a ranged offlaner. Either of these heroes could potentially be good against this Undying because you can't pick these typical strength offlaners unless you have a 4 that's going to be able to buy boots and drag waves for you.
Snap doodle kah?
Like it's not only the strength runners, it's the most picked strength position 4s that struggle against them.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to either
DP memberang-berang.
BZ langsung dikasih DP.
It's the Southeast Asia special. These guys, the entire
Menang kan game 2.
Cuman berang-berang kenapa nggak ini jagoan andalan disruptornya?
Oh iya ya, biasanya disruptor.
Ya mereka menang lawan EG lawan
Team Spirit gara-gara disruptor.
Disruptor kan?
Apa dia pengen buktiin tanpa disruptor bisa menang?
Nggak bisa.
Tidak bisa.
And who was picking it all the time? It was Cam. Like this guy, he won't be playing it here most likely. It's a 5, which was drafted long time ago, but not any longer.
Ini kayak ini Audrey masih si siapa? Si Apache.
An interesting thing that PSG can do is by move, even though the Undying will be the 5, just move him into the Visage lane potentially.
Ternyata emang namanya Japoy ya.
Japoy apa ya? Japoy sih.
And you can get around it that way. Of course, you mentioned it, it's their profit pick.
Tulisannya Japoy.
Yo, patch kan dibalik-balik.
Iya. Enggak, maksudnya nama aslinya tetap Japoy aja nih KTP-nya berarti.
Oh. Lihat KTP-nya.
Agak itu kan ada yang tim Isus-Isusnya itu.
Mungkin lo lihat KTP ini sembari dia foto dipegang.
Agak, takut dibantah lagi gue.
What's also really nice about Visage in this matchup is you can follow Hoodwink through the trees. You always have vision on top of her.
Aduh,
tuh kocak lu ya. Apa itu le?
It's an enjoyable matchup.
Visage is very strong, but not at the very beginning of the game. In the lane, he has one of the worst bats in the game. Like base attack time, it takes him a long time to buy his projectile, which means that if you place him in a lane against carries like Juggernaut, for example, they can destroy him in the CS. And when you shut down Visage and don't let him hit that 6, it's very easy to just free farm your carry.
Monitornya malam-malam tuh pemilih.
A really good point. Do you think that they have these carries still that they can abuse the Visage?
Monitor doang itu habis 3 juta.
Because it can be the double-edged sword as well. Because even though he does not hit creeps very well, he doesn't have to go for Rachel. He just soul assumption.
Ngantuk nih, cuci muka lu sana. Ciao egg.
Boom had a lot of success in their recent wins at least, with multiple bristlebacks came off the game. That is a classic counter to the Visage. As soon as the birds get away from you, the claws instantly kill them off. The Visage can never kill the bristle, and also bristle defends his tower long enough that the rest of the game isn't, Visage with the pacing.
Kalau kalah dia posisi berapa jadinya?
13.
12. Bener yang mana nih? Yang mana yang paling ganteng nih?
11, 6,
Bonus 9 ya?
18.
Marsa di band, Bas.
10.
Bajunya pudar anjing PSG.
Sekarang dia nih last pick-nya nih bisa nge-counter.
Paling finish lagi.
Fenomencer tuh.
Gue pengen beli jersey Boomnya dah.
Beda kelas GG siapa?
Kalau menang belilah gitu baru. Kalau kalah nggak usah lah kok.
Oh iya. Kagak tahu Kur, orang lain Kur.
Kalau menang beli bareng-bareng.
Nggak tahu siapa itu penonton nongol lagi kayaknya.
Kurang gua.
Beli di official store-nya. Ayo kita
Nggak ada yang gede.
Nggak ada, paling gede udah Black Soul.
Iya makanya.
Udah gitu mahal lagi. Nyari KW-nya aja lah.
Aduh.
Yang 100 ribuan.
I think
Nggak ada di Tokopedia.
Hah?
has played it before in the
Tokopedia
past, so the CP could also
Iya ada emang.
they could flex whoever they want to mid or off lane depending. Like they'll wait to see the carry and then they'll put whoever they feel
Wah, Billy-Billy.
matches up best.
Bili-bili
there, I
maksud.
think, is the play. And this
Bili-bili.
4 or 5.
So it's still very flexible
Yeah.
for both.
Itu kan website nonton ini anjir. Streaming anim. Bili-bili.
So they could pick
Kan
up
YouTube-nya sana kan? YouTube Cina bukan sih?
Iya deh, YouTube Cina deh.
But if they wanted to go mid and you have a conk off lane, then this hoodwink is completely fine as a 4 and then you can pick a 5.
And I feel like for PSG.LGD there is no flexibility anymore. Like this is Earthshaker Visage offlane, Undying 5 because let's hypothetically say Undying is offlane. I don't see Undying Earthshaker as being the best lane, right? Like,
Capek banget gue TI kagak menang-menang gitu.
Si Somnus udah itu ya pensiun ya Somnus.
Pensi.
Mana Somnus pensiun kan di RNG.
Iya pensiun
Iya
ya.
pensiun.
Ngumumin gak ngumumin ya.
Ban.
Jadi abis kena COVID langsung itu lemah.
Iya, udah capek kayaknya.
Ya, ini kali warkop sendiri dia.
Iyalah udah. Ngumpulin puni-puni juara 2, udah kaya lah.
They're holding on to this flex as long as possible, huh?
Yeah, they're keeping this flex open. But like we mentioned,
Anjing, terak-terak gitu kayak nonton Mobile Legends ya.
Mobile Legends kan buat toa anjing.
Main pakai ini, pakai apa sih?
Masker.
Apa tuh?
Masker.
Biar anak COVID, masih banyak COVID. Bener dong Mushi, udah biar mahal nih.
Evenly distributed in their ability to take towers.
Dan lambat dan pergerakan lo dan.
Recipe for morphing to just farm behind side. Yeah, I feel like that is.
Amat pergerakan, malah.
Potentially, and just try and buy get like a starting morphing timing on PSG. They have the first pick before, so maybe they just ban.
Anjir.
Gama.
Perhaps open themselves up for a
Senyum
PL,
aja.
but there's Shakers,
Ayo,
there's
Dra.
Spirit.
Masih di HP tuh ketahuan anjir.
Itu lihat stiker mahal dia.
Oh itu ikro tuh.
Tuh.
Bahasa Arab tuh bilang.
Tuh.
Itu apa namanya? Mousepad sama anjing Razer. Sinki kayak gua. Sumpah sama itu modelnya.
Abang itu gak? Ya dia tuh
Astaga.
Iya, tadi emang lu pas dia pergi, lu kan ngeliat mousepadnya diambil.
Astaga. Pakai itu kali ya jempol ya, jempol bagian bawah biar nggak sakit anjir. Mekoyo.
Lunar with the Undying is a very strong lane that maybe offset the DP strength. Where's it banned? Oh, sorry, I didn't see it banned second phase. But
good idea.
Game 2.
Like a minute earlier. Put the hands.
I've loved Luna. People have been abusing the night vision on her
PSG
really
nih
hard.
udah.
Void kah?
It's like
Specialist
so
Void?
rough when you're in a jungle and they see you first just because of Luna.
Gol anak-anak si
Especially when you're like breaking smokes on each other at night. But yeah.
Speaking of which,
Kagak bisa lah.
I have a feeling that
Udah itu ikat kontrak soalnya nggak bisa.
You're playing versus Visage with birds. You're playing versus Undying with Tombstone,
Apa
Ember
ya?
that can zip in and out of fights. It won't be that easy.
Aspek,
to just set
aspeknya
up and
apaan
take
dia?
down
Carry?
Tombstone
Oh,
on
carry
those
belum.
clips.
Yeah, no one really hits it. Like Lina is usually the type of hero you look at for that. Maybe if they want to
Apa nama yang tua?
Dia ngepick.
Kok ini kita nggak ada hologram gitu ya di Twitch ya? Kayak dulu kalau ngepick ada hologram hero-nya dah.
Tuh stage-nya bagus.
Oh.
Atau final beda.
Wah, bener draw.
So about the lane, you seen the rise of Drow?
Is PL2 wild versus an Ember
Nah
versus
ini
Shaker?
point, kalau menurut gue sih point yang bagus sih.
Point lah point.
Iya point lah.
Kata coachnya GG easy guys.
Point stun.
Waduh.
Solid lineups, you can go for these greedy heroes. I guess the only caveat to that would be Visage would have a free lane, Ember should do
Itu ultinya sih Hoodwink.
playing well plus Drow.
Udah buruan tuh main lama banget dah.
Waduh.
Exactly, yeah. Too many variables that are spooky.
People have just been going against this Drow
Point.
with just
Plus
more
point
range.
nih harusnya.
Bro, naik lah.
By the way, I heard that down.
Ada sniper.
Sniper. Sama Ember gampang di
The only problem perhaps would be the Ember that can get on top of you
That's
easily.
terrifying, yeah. And like Earthshaker as well, being able to block
Sniper kalau BKB Embernya yang kalah.
they have a
Awalnya
lot of ways to
susah.
collapse on him really quickly. I mean, there's
One thing that Boom is really lacking is stuns. Like, look at them. There's if you're hoping that Bushwhack is going to be the best thing that you've got.
Random. Random dapat IO.
My concern is just what damage are you providing? In the early game, some fissures will disconnect your ability to do
Bisa
damage.
belara kurang
He's
anjing.
gonna be too tanky, there's soul rips.
I mean,
It's just a lack of damage, but it's an insurance policy. But
Oh, that's something.
they want to go for the fight.
Kocak.
Nggak cheaper.
You rotate no.
I was going to say
Sniper, yeah, I see.
Kenapa nggak point?
Oh, sorry, there's invisible ink.
Yeah. It's more.
Ntar Blood Seeker-nya beli Void Stone biar ada
This
point.
is, yeah, definitely. I feel quite stressed.
GG lah. 2-0 mah, 2-0 mah, 2-2.
What they, I think, have to do against a draft.
2-1 lah.
What are your guys? What's your opinion?
It's definitely a
Kalau sengaja troll mah,
lah.
pasti lah.
teams getting this Bloodseeker as last pick. It's good versus Drow. You have that rupture to prevent her from running around. You can't get on top of her if she can't move, right? But
Waduh.
overall, I feel that PSG
Orang Indo tuh gue yakin tuh
draft
banyak.
once again
Yang tadi
is
kocak
just
lu ya.
simpler to execute.
Apa itu le ternyata.
Apa itu le?
You've got Visage who should just have a decent time top, and I think the main thing in this game, which
Yeah.
offlanes in game one,
Cilok banget, cilok. Aduh.
Kunkka v Ember. Can Ember get the runes to get those rotations to unlock the pace of the game? Is Kunkka in position to counterplay? Yeah, a lot of pressure.
Oh, thank you for bringing
Apaan?
us the draft here at the panel, and yes, this could be the last match.
Gua aja kagak pakai battle pass anjir.
PSG looking primed to go through, and let's
Beli
have
kah ya?
a post-draft
Kagak.
interview with
Tidak
the
menarik.
Suns, who's going to be talking to Zhao.
Kalau dibeli.
Enggak mau.
Thank you so
Wih,
much. I
dokter.
am here with Xiaowei, the
Bukan dong, Gam.
in Dota and Dota's best
Kayak dokter
hygienist,
ini.
and of course Helen to translate here.
Oh, translatornya.
Keren nih.
Drow Visage. Even I am smart enough to know that's a good combo. Nothing crazier than that.
Waduh,
You're a Dota
ada pitbull nih.
Just going back to basics.
你八岛作为 DOTA 的最强大脑之一，
Gol, gol, gol,
死
gol,
灵
gol.
龙和小黑这个绝配，连他都能想到。
Lu kocak.
我就是在后台听说。
Nggak bisa bahasa Inggris kan dia?
Enggak.
Well, I heard
Ya Allah,
message that
pakai gue dong.
talked about it. That's why.
Sebenarnya beda ya gue ngomongnya, katanya goblok lo gitu. Yang diartiinnya beda.
Okay, and the other question, are you ready for the terrifying Boom Bloodseeker? I mean, this guy has taken a lot of lives here. Were you expecting this?
你做好准备了对战 Boom 的绝活之一，他们的血魔了吗？他们很恐怖。
我没有想过他们的全血魔，所以我相信我们应该会赢。
We
Ada
already
battle
thought
pass,
about
apaan
it,
nih?
so I believe that we will win.
That's what I like to hear. All right, a lot of confidence, a lot of power coming out. Thank you so much, and we will throw it over to our wonderful casters. Let's get ready, boys.
Oke, nggak semangat
Thank you
tampaknya
so
guys.
much, lads. We do get into it. Game number 2 here between Boom ESPORT and PSG.LGD. John, I've got to admit, PSG.LGD game 1 they made it look way too easy. You look at these drafts. Do you think it might be a bit of a close game?
I still feel like LGD does have a really strong draft on hand,
Ya,
but
gaming
boom, they've
taruh dua,
fallen
anjir,
into a
buat
couple
apaan
comfort
coba?
picks. You know, you're back to the FBZ Death Prophet that we saw him play throughout the entire season.
这啥？卢克小个起要过你
He's
定。
always had a great time with that. And of course, Yopaj on his Kunkka. He
Dia nonton
had to
satu.
deal with nothing to
Gua.
seize Kunkka, but he's a Kunkka specialist himself. And now nothing to say is going to have to
Tadi
try
20
to deal
orang
with
guys
that
nonton
on
guys, banyak
his
sekali
Emperor.
guys.
That matchup's going to be a little bit more
Dan,
difficult.
lama
I think
pergerakan,
Boom does have
Dan.
a little bit more play, but
Udah pada saat itu ini bukan channel yang kita inginkan.
Dan, lama pergerakan.
if they manage to get a running start, I wouldn't be surprised if they
Lambat,
just dominate this game
lambat,
once more. If things go to
Ayo,
this game one.
main.
Certainly a very scary draft here from LG.
Dannya masih di luar itu anjir.
Like the tempo that you can apply here from LG.
Kan masih jam
The pace
9.
you can get going
Ah,
is
males
too
gua,
much to keep up with it. Boom fall behind in this laning
Lu
stage
udah
of this
beli
game number 2.
belum?
We'll see if they can keep up.
Udah nih.
In the second game, of course, every
Gua
the
lo
third game to happen, John. We'll see if they can make it happen.
ini
So
bisa
LGD,
main musuh.
we'll start with the mid lane. Of course, you're gonna have
Ya udah
nothing
dulu
to say
Ryan.
against Yopaj on the
Di lu
Kukulus
tinggal
and
download.
Video. You kind of talked about the fact
Ya
that
pakai di
these
Ryan.
heroes are both specialties of the
Gua nggak main dong, goblok.
hero on the mid lane, but who should have the inherent advantage between these two?
This does feel a little bit better for the Kunkka.
Otaknya otak airan.
To play with, you're not really managing.
Wah, anjir.
Whereas the Ember's gonna
Kedot,
have to
anjir.
juggle around with the bottle down the line.
Ya,
Just
astaga.
secure water rooms to keep that
Nama
going.
mental kan?
Yopaj
Ya, astaga.
toss around with the Tyler, get some good rotations out this time with the supports they have on hand. Especially if Scam gets room to kind of
Yopajnya lagi error kayaknya.
really nice
Wah,
creep here.
pinter nih
Top
mental.
top lane, Faith Beyond trying to get that creep equilibrium going his way. Off the back of Sin-Q. Of course, Skem and Jackie are going to be right against them. And should be a decent enough lane here for Jackie, but levels do get up. You have to be a little bit worried about the amount of damage Faith Beyond can pump out, especially once he does have that soul assumption up. If he does go for it in the enders, I can see Skem risk him quite a bit here on the edge as well. They just end up going for the Gravekeeper's cloak instead, just to remain safe against all this harassment. We'll see what he does end up doing.
I like this little move out from Scam. He recognizes that there's no soul assumption. He can pop some damage without being traded
Nice
back
bounce.
favorably from the side of LGD, and just try to give some space out to Jackie. This lane is still pretty annoying for the Bloodseeker. And just getting this lane up, losing a lot of attack speed on the Bloodseeker does make it a little bit more manageable for him to just work that lane.
What about that bot lane? Tim's and FBZ going to be against Armor and Y once again. This seems like a very potent lane here from PSG.LGD. Especially once you have a couple levels up in the Frost Arrows in conjunction with the Tombstone from Y. It's just so much damage and so much slow that can be dealt out. Just like if you get caught out of position, there's just no escaping it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Boom to try to be aggressive here. Right? If you can gap close onto Ame, Bushwhack along the Spirit Siphon, you can kind of melt her down, but with Y blocking off the path on the
Ya,
entire
nggak
lane,
nemu
you
sentry
don't have too many access
Wah, ini
points to
tarik
reach
tuh.
into that back line without copying a lot of decays, without maybe having the
Gila,
Tombstone
nariknya
come
jauh
out
banget
to
itu
overextend.
tripnya.
So I think this is just, again, another safe lane coming out for Ame to just build up, and you shouldn't expect too much from FBZ. Maybe by the time he hits, I don't know, 5 threatening into 6, with the Exorcism ready, that's where action can pick up for Boom. Before that, unless Ame really missteps, it's going to be hard to punish that Drow.
Absolutely. No first blood being drawn quite yet. We are seeing a bit of shenanigans here from Skem and Faith Beyond. Bit of a pull here for Faith to be able to farm securely underneath, or rather behind that tier 1 tower. Though Skem going to be a little bit annoying just hanging around, but actually will pull his own creep wave away as we do see Sin-Q.
Yoi, Halloween party,
Bishop
guys.
blocking here, just trying to set the creep equilibrium in the favor of LGD. Just wanting to give Faith Beyond a very easy lane stage to get started as Skem. He chased down a little bit, but they have nothing to really lock him down. And eventually, this creep wave will push into the tier 1 tower. That'll mean it'll push back the other way. Faith Beyond, he might need to be a little bit patient, but eventually the creep wave is going to be his way. Sin-Q does actually find the courier of Jackie.
Aduh, beli liga amal apa nih, gak ada ngekill.
He was coming, he tried to micro it back.
Aduh, itu kurir mati. Ada job lagi tuh, Pel. Kurir Shopee.
Ya.
Nice little take, but Jackie did manage to get his items out, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Trying to top up in this lane is just going to be a little bit tougher. Sin-Q is out of mana. Does have the mangoes ready, but he is getting the pull off, and there's really not too much Scam can do. He doesn't have
Tarik
anything like
lagi
the
aja,
Blightstone. Level 1 enchant, not really going to really slow down Sin-Q, and Faith Beyond just, again, being allowed
Yeah,
to
like
get
him.
EXP, along with a fairly greedy support in the Shaker, right? He does want his own experience flowing in as well.
Dan ini
Scam
semua
can't
orang
really
suruh
stop.
naik kan.
Certainly cannot. Going to that Radiant Triangle, just take some creeps away, put a ward down as well. Q will see him out of there. Is now nothing to say mid lane. Gonna get X'd up here by Yopaj, but no torrent to come out. Nice vision from Q, not gonna allow the water rune to go back the way of Yopaj.
Ada Sinjo ini.
Eventually, well, Tim's, he will secure the bottom water rune at the very least. Nothing to say, he is gonna try and show up for that, but Tim's will snipe it away from him. So neither mid laner able to find a rune here. So it seems like LGD did adjust, because this is one thing that Boom Esports were doing very effectively in the early stage of last game, is just securing all the runes and making sure nothing to say couldn't get one. This time around LGD, they're going to make sure at least Yopaj can't find his own.
Yeah, and speaking of that mid lane magic, we talked about how the Kunkka Ember shapes up. Nothing to say is actually working lane a lot better. 25-7 now on CS compared to Yopaj, just stuck at 20-4. Good lead here coming out from Nothing to say. He's managing to even sneak away the bounty rune there. There's some really good action across the maps. They tried to jump it. They don't really have stuns on Boom's end unless they manage to get a good enchanted feat from Skim, kind of punish Fate Beyond. And so far, this kind of static game, it does feel favorable for LGD. I mean, once they build the levels up, you get the marksmanship up, you get the levels up, and you have this ever dancing around you. It's very easy for them to jump in and take these fights and go for objectives.
Ball lane, a bit of aggression happening towards
Gak amal gak manjir.
rather low on the underside, just fine.
Nothing tulus berarti kayak kalah ya udahlah.
Anjir ke deny mulu.
The right moment to see exactly what he needs. For now, just being very, very patient. Doesn't seem like Boom's been too aggressive down to the bot lane either. So it's like both sides just very satisfied farming up for now throughout this laning stage. We are yet to see a kill to come out. Not really many rotations happening either, though mid lane, nothing to say. Gonna get X back into a torrent. A little damage to follow up though. Yopaj gonna force the reset out of Nothing to say. He can always just remnant back into the mid lane anyway. Meanwhile, bot lane, why? He's gonna deny himself off. Nothing to go back the way of Boom. Quick reset for himself. Can always just TP right back to the lane. It's the 6-minute power runes now. Let's spawn up.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Bottom as Yopaj able to take with the DD. However, for the hoodwink, that's a nice bushwhack out. Nothing to say. Dropping rather low. Will remnant back the other way. However, you've got the enchant there from Scam. Controlling up. Nothing to say. They might have the damage with Q.
No.
Make sure they can't keep
Ini malah dia yang mati. Mampus.
Masih bisa mati nih si itu. Si Jokowi.
Does get chained up by Nothing to say, but there's not going to be much out of this. Just not enough damage. Boom, it seems like they're happy with what they've got.
Forcing attention onto Yopaj. It's been playing around really aggressively.
Untung ada buff dari Krits nggak kapalnya jelas.
Maybe a bit of a small mistake, didn't manage to really get the X off when he got that initial control on Nothing to say before he zipped away. But you still find the big kills, you find that first blood, you're buying space out for Jackie, who has had a very free top lane now. So your Bloodseeker is going to meet that initial item timings you're looking for. The Maelstrom coming out, BKB down the line to Shard once the time is ready. And it's going to be pretty tough to shove Jackie away. You still have concerns about Ami though. He's not too shabby down bot either, and FPC's not able to do as much. But the power spikes are lining up for both sides. Familiar's going to be up for Fate Beyond soon enough. You can just camp that lane up top and keep it shoved out. And FBZ can always threaten with the Exorcism once it's ready.
They're going to slow up Jackie, but not needing too much. Meanwhile, mid lane, however, they've got the Ember stunned up, but Nothing to say. Got the remnant out in time. They can't really follow up on the Ember Spirit for now. Bushwhack, though, is going to land from Tim's. Yopaj going to show up once again, forcing the remnants forward. However, they've even got the edge there. A nice little juke away from Nothing to say, but they've got the back with the will find the Ember. Now, that's a much bigger kill coming up from Boom.
Tidak jadi ngantuk guys, tiba-tiba melek dikit.
Dikit. We saw it in game 1. Tim's and Scam were rotating in, but they weren't finding kills. This time around, they're able to play off the setup Yopaj had and dance around it. Q trying to block off this push. Not the fastest coming out from Boom, especially without FBZ around to kind of speed that up with the EXO.
Ya, terambil game.
Slowly forcing out responses here.
Still a fair bit of damage thanks to the enchant of Scam.
Aduh, mati dah tuh berang-berang.
Tim still finds the bushwhack back onto Nothing to say as he does run towards the center. Actually make it up, but no, he does go down. Scam, he's in danger himself, but the heals are out as FBZ's gonna rotate on the DP. Make sure they can't go for too much more. Seems like they are looking for the tombstone, but it may just be too late in the end. Just eventually expire. So 1-3 now, 2k advantage the way of Boom. Still anyone's game really at this early stage. Seems like a very nice
Oh,
start.
kena sih?
Enggak.
Finding a little bit more. Small wins are starting to rack up a little bit. Jackie's had all the space in the world to perform. Does have corruption. Surrounded here.
Ambitious there, Jackie. Can he find his way out of this one? They've got Camille's to back him up. Jackie's still seems like he's taking too much.
Jauh banget kok.
Now the rupture. Here's the try and get his way out, but it's not going to work. The torrent is there. Familiars, they will stun a little bit. Q understands he cannot get away. So Yopar
Masih di jalan dan.
will take his third kill of the game on the Kunkka.
Apaan sih? Oh, ada yel-yelnya anjir.
Oh, lu Jumat masuk kan?
Dia tukar kemarin kan begitu mas.
Trying to take that bot tier 1 tower. The push threat is online for Boom. And LGD, we haven't really seen them group up. The familiars again, you kind of want
Waduh, ayo nyebrang.
ample lane to form up support. They're not able to threaten in the same way Boom is right now.
BZ able to secure that bottom T1. All three cores on Boom now topped on their worth board. This is basically a mirror switch of what happened in game 1, at least for now. LGD, they might still be confident in their own timing with this Visage kind of draft. Might just take it easy, get their farm going, just trying to avoid the side of Boom. Boom for now, they want to find. You can see it as Yopar going for a bit of a chase onto nothing to say. Won't end up going for the X up yet. In fact, now he's the one on the run. There might be someone to cut him off soon, but no, it's only Y on the Undying. No way for him to really lock down the Kunkka.
Dan lagi tempat kondangan.
They're just trying to take these stacks away before they are forced to lead this dire jungle.
They take a creep off from Yopaj, not the biggest loss in the world here for Boom. They did manage to find the tier 1 tower trade eventually from LGD.
Jadi itu punya anak ya Dan.
That does give them some good forward control.
Random banget. Jago juga Japo yang main kunkanya nih.
Pede dia ini.
They switch Jackie around anyway to play into the triangle. So the build up is still there, still
Japo is my idol.
3K lead for Boom, slight advantage for them. On LGD, it feels like we haven't seen them play with their own strengths yet. You know, they're just taking their time, they're building up, they're not losing too much off the map. So things don't feel too bad for LGD at the moment, despite being a little bit behind.
Yeah, still plenty of map control available on their own things.
Jadi sepi nih.
Si Gama hilang anjing. Cinta juga.
There's nothing to say. He had a bit of a slower start, working towards the Yule Scepter now, so a bit more of a defensive
kurang ajar.
Be able to purge off all these spells that are flying out of the Burmers. You are going to have the fish around onto FBZ, but it's not going to lead to too much.
Slot lu guys. Berdoain mau menang lah.
Very confident to stick around here though.
Slot apaan anjir? Ngandam.
Smoke up, but there's a counter smoke coming from LGD. Which one finds which first? Yopaj?
Duha lu di Inggris apa gimana?
Tahu tak?
SynQ trying to hide right now, just don't give the opening away. SynQ having a very tough time already.
Masih mending ada niat mau sholat.
Nothing to say, he's a much bigger target. They are going to land the X onto the Ember. This could be a fantastic start if they can find him, but they won't. The torrent will be off the mark and the Fisher will be there, so nothing to say. A very nice juke out. We'll be able to TP back towards the base.
Really great juke. Dodges out with a slight fist. The silence would have been on point, and that could have set up for the side of Boom to find that kill. Nothing to say, quick fingers though does bail out in the time. Boom, not gonna find too much further trouble. They do invade the bot jungle, and they're buying space out for Jackie to keep his farm game up. Maelstrom already on the way out. Same could be said for LGD. Full Vlad's already up in Fate Beyond, not too far away from the raid pack from this point. And once that's up, all that damage mitigation, all that durability of the Visage up front, it's gonna make these fights feel pretty awkward for Boom if they're not careful. If they can't manage to maybe isolate the Visage or just take it out of the equation early on.
That's very rough against this hero, right? Like, just so tanky with the Gravekeeper's cloak, and like you mentioned, the Wraith pack to come out makes it even tougher here to deal with Fate Beyond. One of his specialty heroes as well. We used to watch him years and years ago playing this hero, and see now it's back in meta. That Visage is very, very scary to have to try and play against. Damage being dealt up to the Scam top lane, so nothing to say, just kind of poking and prodding at the edge. Scam going to be just fine to stick around though, has his own way of healing himself. The Seeds of Serenity, I believe it is, and just fine to stick around. Nothing to say, still trying to poke and prod, but it seems like the edge just going to keep kind of sticking around that top lane. Both sides just very comfortable with farming at the moment. Nobody's rushing for a fight, they're both trying to hit their own timings throughout this mid game. They'll just sit back, relax. You kind of wonder who this favors, right? Because you did have a pretty decent lead for Boom, and they still hold on to that lead, but Is there a timing they look to kind of hit? Because you can kind of tell LGD are trying to hit their own timing throughout that mid game with this Visage.
I think you're okay on Boom. You're just working towards those initial BKBs. Yopaj, very close to his. It's still lacking the recipe gold, but it's going to come out eventually. FBZ only lacking the recipe. So once you have at least 2 of these BKBs ready to go, you're going to be able to group up, try to look for those fights, try to find those objectives, and then you really start to hurt LGD's farm. For now, if this drags on, say, past the 20-minute mark in the staticness, LGD starts to feel really good. They're going to have their own BKBs, they're going to have their own level spikes, maybe even down the line, the blink out from SinQ starts to pop up. And you just have issues in these team fights. It's already really hard to say. You're going to have to clump up for it. And once you're clumped up, SinQ and Fate Beyond are going to get to town.
See another smoke out. Boom, they'll head down towards the south, through the mid lane. Who are they going to find? Fate Beyond on that Visage, showing up with those familiars. There'll be an X out. This could be a big pickoff, but the familiar stuns are going to be there. Still, the X is going to make it in time for the boat to land. They'll find Fate Beyond. The familiars may not be so lucky either, as they would at least find one of them. And now they are into that mid-tier 1 tower with the exorcism. Not going to be too hard for them to take them down. In fact, they found SinQ now on the Earthshaker. They'll find a second. Tim's just sniping from a mile away with that sharpshooter, slowing him down. And well, that'll be the mid-tier 1 tower gone.
And that's the timing we were talking about. Not quite the BKBs coming out, but
why?
Find more.
Trying to protect that radiant triangle. It's a lot of damage coming out from Arme, but not quite enough to finish off the job as Yopaj able to find his 4th kill of the game. Trains will not land on any. FBZ going to try and put the TP up, but the familiars will be there just in the nick of time. They will find at least something for their trouble.
They get the big target out from LGD's end. It comes at heavy cost. And those kills, the tower take from Boom still feel a lot better for them to play off, and now the map shrinks a little bit more for LGD. They still have time to build up, and they are still getting some decent build up here on Ame. He's allowed to just play in that triangle, no contention coming out from Boom in that area, outside of that one invasion. And they're just praying and hoping that eventually the Drow and the Ember are just going to be really hard to handle. For Boom though, again, BKBs are still on their way. That spell immunity is going to be a really big factor in the middle of these fights. The full raid pack is up on Fate Beyond. So again, if he does manage to use that item in time, Boom might have to spend more time trying to find that kill and give enough leeway for LGD to respond.
SinQ gets spotted out here. Skem will move in. Yopaj, she'll be there with the backup. X into the torrent will connect it. Seems like SinQ just has no way out of this one. They will lock him down with the bushwhack and take him out once again. That'll be the 5th kill for the Kunkka. Yopaj off to a fantastic start, 16 minutes in. They top lane, they might have a look at nothing to say. Can they land the silence though with the bushwhack? It seems like they will be able to find the bushwhack as FBZ, the sharpshooter, is going to be up at the Ember. Has the Yule Scepter, will go for the remnant towards the left side, and it looks like he's going to be just fine. He does have the stick charges. They don't have the burst damage for nothing to say.
They needed the +1 to try to find that kill. Valiant effort, not quite what they want, but it does shove nothing to say away, giving him more space again elsewhere to keep that farm game up. And Jackie's still getting his own build up, his own BKB is almost done. So it possibly could be just a triple BKB timing for Boom, where LGD, they're not going to have that same level of protection. Outside of the Ewelts coming out here on nothing to say, they're going to be very vulnerable to damage here.
Oh, nice chains out, nothing to say. Fisher will be there to follow up. The Tombstone has been dropped as well. This is going to be a fair bit of damage as that
Wow.
He does have a BKB up. He'll pop it immediately. But it seems like they just want to at least take this Tombstone down and get this team fight started. It will get to light off. Multi-shot there from Arme. It's a lot of damage.
Mati ya semua digituin lurus.
Keep moving forward at least the SinQ. Does go for a Fisher, but he's trapped in the tree line right now. The bow will fly in. The sharpshooter's there. They'll find at least one as Tim's. We'll look for a bit more now, but nothing to say, he's just fine. He's going to be able to back his way out. They'll only find the shade.
Menang dah.
Still 2-9, 6K.
Gua doain si Ame kelilipan.
Jackie is free farm.
Ya, mati dah. Ay, goblok. Biar sholat kan, sambatin mesti sholat kan.
He wants a little bit more. He'll move in, but the silence is out from FBZ. Jules is out there to lock down FBZs. They should have the slows as well, but FBZ, he'll BKB up.
Masih ini BKB.
Back his own way away. They cannot lock him down through the BKB. They do find a decent kill in the Kunkka, but that's going to be about it for LGD.
I think you're pretty happy for LGD though. You force out those initial BKB uses, you only
Lincoln.
use your support, and you're starting to get some activity out
Bro,
of
Lincoln.
He's more than willing to join into these fights. So Boom have to be really cautious about going in like that. You can't afford to just fully commit onto support.
Iya sih,
You need big
biar nggak di
targets to
rupture.
kill off. Once those BKBs fade, LGD can
Biar
just
nggak di
kind of
X.
dance around, and once they shrink in duration, these fights become a lot harder for Boom to kind of.
Wah, ketahuan wardat, tes. Ketahuan jadi ada ward.
Shot is there. FPZ does get locked down. Looks like LGD are ready to try and push forward here against Boom, but unable to really find the lockdown there.
Ada sentry block. Cam.
Sentry, ntar aduh.
Ya, bligem dia. Wah, niat. Gitu-gitu ya, bagus. Kalau udah menang, bligem memang. Jangan kasih vision. Wah, tuh kan si wardnya.
Meanwhile, again, I think the main kind of focus you have to have on here is Jackie on that Bloodseeker. He's 10k net worth right now. He's just absolutely huge. Bareng, he's not too far behind, but Jackie just seems like he's getting away with it a little bit too much. They will see nothing to say.
Mas nih. Jackie. Wah.
He just knows how to work the map really well. Very efficient as a carry. Has been for a long time. Since his time on Motivate Trust. Speaking of Motivate Trust, I believe his former teammates here, Mr. Fearless.
Kayaknya mesti caster yang official dah.
Onto the Basher here for Jack. So gonna try to get some control going his way. Again, with all the room he has, that Basher time is gonna be pretty good. Yo, Pasho.
Duit kah?
He'll lose it to Milia. X is there on nothing to say, but he's
Wah.
gonna remnant out
Waduh.
a little bit too early, so the X back is there. It won't matter though. The follow-up is not going to be up from Boom. Be a smoke out though. Boom. They can find with this. Wrap around through that dire jungle. It's like LGD. They have smoked themselves as well. Both sides looking for that opportunity. It's a bit harder for Boom to try and make the way through the Radiant Triangle, just not having the vision, but.
KB ready. Dasar. Nice. Itu dia. Ya, kelamaan. Ya. Apa gimana sih goblok? Wah, dia yang mati nih.
Wah, bodoh. Oh, belum.
Aduh, tadi ame-ame belalang kupu-kupu.
Wah, bodoh.
Oh, berantakan sekali, guys. Grogi kah gue tontonin lagi anjing. Dua kosong lah, guys.
That's two down for the side of Boom ESPORT. LGD great way of pushing back here against the Dire.
Boiled down to just small mistakes, not being able to kill off Ami. He did have the force down to save. That did complicate that.
Ya, boy, kesalahan dah. Tadi kok dapet draw-nya tuh, aduh.
And those are massive losses. Like even Scam dying there, he had a gem, free gem coming out for LGD.
Iya, dapet.
You're starting to see that power of the Drow and the Visage. They just do so much work when they're grouped up together.
Ini nih, silent kah?
Telat timing.
Jadi gak hancur ya timingnya. Andengnya juga baik sih. Atau enggak?
Exactly what kind of allowed them to punish Yopaj, who had no choice but to try and go for the deny with the Roshan, but just ended up working out in his favor, just unable to get the attack animation off with the slows from Fate Beyond.
Boom, it's just getting a little bit difficult. LGD, with the Aegis up, can take a little bit more risk in these fights. They could look to just take more objectives. The mid-tier one still standing could be a nice juicy one to start to force into Boom's jungle and just shrink the map even more. Like they are still getting built up everywhere else. Yopaj
Networknya sudah mulai berkurang lagi. Astaga, kepala berdoain kelilipan anjir.
Doa lu kurang manjur.
Lu doain juga dong, Pel. Apa kayak bulu matanya jatuh gitu.
Iya, tempatnya kebakaran.
Sometimes every now and again there's a little bit of jankiness in that movement out.
Certainly is. LGD grouped up top lane, maybe going for a bit of a push in that T2 tower. They've hit a very nice timing now. The security of the Aegis for Arme feel very safe moving into this tower, but there is going to be a smoke up from Boom. They want to try and defend this. Up through the mid-river, there'll be a double damage available on Yopaj. That could be the exact buff they kind of need here to take the fight on with LGD. See if they can find Xingqiu on the map first. Because Fates Beyond going to be there as well, but they're all on the tree line. Xingqiu pings around, but a nice fish. Xingqiu locking down a couple again into the Echo. FBZ, he will get the BKB off in time. They're still trying to force the fight, but is this the one they really want?
Ya, jagonya PKBTL anjing. Ah, nggak jelas. Mau ngapain anjing? Ya.
Superior vision, stay on the tree line, and just surprise them and just don't show anyone.
Xingqiu just in the perfect spot to break that smoke, and Boom overcommit. They feel the pressure to try to make these plays. They don't manage to land on targets they want, and Xingqiu's just been a nuisance with these fishers throughout all these fights, just finding the perfect angles to cut off Boom.
Xingqiu a real nuisance. As you saw, he's trying to find Arme this whole time, but just unable to get him. It's the ward placement here from LGD, just fully prepped for that fight. Eventually, Lee Scam will be the second pick up here. So GD really looking quite strong now. Still a 2k net worth lead available for Boom, but it's really nothing to write home about. We're 25 minutes into the game. It's a very even one between these two teams. Still could go either way, but it's all about these team fights. It's all about the next Roshans. Speaking of, is still available for Arme, so you just never really had the risk of losing it this whole time. You kind of wonder what to do now. Like, do you want to slow down the game? Do you keep trying to?
Kalau di sini manajemennya ada tim risetnya nggak ya? Maksudnya,
You need to at least maintain equilibrium here. Don't lose ground up against LGD. They've lost their gold lead entirely. You've got some protection coming out now for Ame. Lincoln Sphere up, so you can't just try to X her back, and that just makes things so much more difficult. Feels like this game is starting to boil down to Tim's getting a good bushwhack off. Easier said than done. And the Drow's sitting so far away. They could try to mount defense for the tier 1, but it's pretty late in the game to kind of keep that alive.
Chains are out, that's a big target. Yopaj once again forced the BKB early just to run his way up, but they'll still lose the mid-tier 1 tower. A double damage rune also being spotted out. The Scam might be able to deny it off and does. He'll get away with it, not allowing nothing to say to pick that one up for himself. He's bottled it up. That LGD, they'll take over that dire triangle. Very strong position, deny more farm away from Jackie. They might just try and head over to the other side of the map. It just doesn't feel like they're ready to actually fight yet.
They've got so much to play with now on LGD. It just feels like when you've got these heroes that can constantly run in and slowly poke and prod. Witty Ember, you've got the mobility coming out now on Xingqiu. He's got the full blink up with a slam ready to go, and he's been a menace without that blink. With that blink up, it's just going to be so much more difficult for Boom to get anything done. But LGD in a really good spot right now. 7 to 10, behind in kills, not fully back in that fourth, but they've evened that deficit out. And they're the ones with the initiative. They're the ones working the map well. They're the ones forcing these issues onto Boom.
Spotted. Why? He'll move in with the Glimmer Cape. Jackie seems to know they're right behind him.
Wah.
Nice fish from
Ngapain?
Cabut malah nungguin.
Tim's also being chased down. They won't mind losing the hoodwink. They got the +1 Bloodseeker.
Massive win for LGD. Jackie just trying to farm where he can. LGD understanding that where they have to be. They have got good wards watching that top jungle. They just came.
Network sudah mulai berpindah tangan.
The only spot Jackie would have to be in is in that triangle on the Radiant side.
Atau Batam kah?
Severe LGD. And the damage output coming out from Ame just with a Hurricane Pike and the Lincoln Sphere. It's more than enough. No one's there to gap close. And that marksmanship aura is always going to be active.
Berenang kayak punggung.
Very tough. We just haven't seen any kind of risk for Ame at all. He's always just been in the perfect position every single time. Just unable to catch him out. He continues that farm now, top of the net worth board on the Drow. Nothing to slow him down.
Mendingan nonton live-nya Bunda Kor.
Well and truly running now is they're the ones that try and find an answer for this game number 2. You kind of wonder what they do here though. I mean, they're sitting back for now, they're just playing a little bit defensively, but it just feels like they've lost all the lead they had. And with the time that LGD's hit, they can just take their time with this one. There's just no rush for game 2.
build up, keep getting that farm you want onto your drow. I think the one thing Boom could try to do, a little bit cheeky, go for the shard on Yopaj ASAP.
Taruh sentrinya, Chandras.
Back the drow. That could be one way for you to get Ame out of position. Easier said than done, but it feels like you need that disruptiveness in these fights. The Ag shard, maybe even the Ags down the line, because you're not seeing any big BKBs here.
Thank you.
LGD.
Jump in, he has found Tim's on the hoodwink. More staff away, may not be enough, but no, it will be. They've got double. Tim's will be just fine as the zombie will chase him down, but it won't be enough to pursue any further. LGD is still very careful themselves. They're not overextending, they're not giving any openings over to Boom. They want to fight nearby that tier 2 tower in the mid lane. Now Jackie, what towards his eye of Scotty, has a blink dagger up as well.
Bisa gitu?
The bot lane. It does do so, but can't find the familiars. 8 to 10, still a 2k advantage the way of LGD. Still a very close match, but it does feel like Boom are the ones that need to find an answer, as they might smoke up, and they do. Smoke on smoke situation. Across the other side of the map, the only thing they really see right now are the familiars. Because FBZ, he'll just try to secure those instead, and well, he gets one of them, might find a second, but they are going to be spawned back up by Faith Beyond.
Really awkward position for both sides. Roche still a ways off, so this next fight might have the fight back.
Thank you.
Nah, Papa udah terima aja, Ter, bersyukurlah.
They might find the shaker and they will. It's something, nothing to say. Shows the mid lane will creep skip. Backs towards his team once again. Both sides just waiting for the next Roshan. Still a couple minutes away though. Seems like Boom will try to infiltrate their jungle once again.
Nah, dapat kill, tetap aja networknya malah tambah ke kiri anjir.
The wards off while they can. FBZ look for the outpost. LGD, they are grouped up, ready to go whenever.
Look.
Seems like they are not going to make the jump in. Not yet at least. Yeah, Roshan's still a bit away though. Gonna move on to FBZ. Just fine though, just a bit of chip damage coming up from nothing to say.
They're working to this point where they might get this blink up on Tims. So you're going to have a little bit more of an easier time for the Hoodwink to try to line up those hits with a pushback, get that much needed control in the middle of these fights. Again, it does feel like a lot of it starts to boil down onto Tims trying to surprise him. The X is just a little bit too telegraphed. You've got the BKB up and running as well for Ame, so much easier for him to dodge out if need be in the middle of these engagements as well.
Chased around off the edge. Again, just fine to back his way out, no problems here. Shah now 1 minute away. LGD, they're the ones that are really keeping tabs with these familiars, but these have the skeletons coming from Scam as well. They're gonna go for a smoke. We've got a 5-on-5 situation here in the mid lane. Who gets up in the initiation first? The Misha is there, but the BKB is around in time. The tombstone is being both.
Tapi abis BKB-nya udah.
He's gonna get jumped on. They found Yopaj, but the boat is out in time. Forced off the way. They need to save the Conquer.
Tapi tadi kalau nggak langsung BKB ini, itu anjing.
They should have him. Faith Beyond takes him down. Onto FBZ will find the death. Burst him down. So much damage coming out. Standing right behind him. But how do you actually get to this drow or the visage?
They have no reach. It just boils down to the fact that they don't have a high mobility initiator that can dance in, something like the Ember that was going to say, to try to catch the back line, to try to stop Ame. A million damage in one engage.
Ngantuk lagi guys.
Siapa yang nguap sih anjir, nyamber bangsat.
Boom. They have a great start. It just gets harder from here, it feels like. Even with all the durability in Yopaj and EC, if no one can touch Ame,
jadi pakai buka lah jempoy anjir.
GD once again now a 6k advantage. You'll see the replay and there was a nice initiation.
Tuh, kalau nggak BKB, sekernya anjing.
They just retreat immediately. Just no hesitation from LGD. They understand they just need to wait those out, move back in, and then just get right to work. Like you can try to run, but there's just so much slow available here as they are even going to tier 3 towers now. LGD, they understand the lead they have. Boom, again, they just haven't found the opening throughout this game. They will try to slow it down, but the team is already gone.
Boom nggak punya stunner yang instan juga masalahnya.
Yopaj will hold down the Conquerors.
Mati.
Ya Allah, ya Allah. Wah, banget keren
Anjing emang tim robot susah banget deh lawannya.
Itu ulti udah keluar tinggal kena. Gasar. Jago banget.
Ngerti lagi gue sumpah.
Ini mah salah dibunuh ini. Jadi nggak bisa ini anjir. Nggak bisa kalah.
Lagi gue cocok.
Lagi. OP sih anjir.
Wah, ini pantas menang sih kalau nggak menang mah parah sih.
Pantas menang buat LGD, pantas kalah buat gue aja. Dia goblok.
Sumpah gue belum pernah ngeliat bagus ini ya, tim yang lain sumpah yang di after break.
Ya, GG guys.
Robot dah.
Robot anjing, tim robot.
Ya.
Robot, tim robot.
Gak dibolehin GG anjir. Ya, betul guys, santai banget.
Orang-orang ini mukanya biasa aja anjir. Orang-orang ini mukanya biasa aja.
Easy guys.
Jago banget ya. Padahal dari combo sama tsunami-nya si Jepun ini udah mati sumpah.
Kayaknya nggak ada follow up right clicknya dah.
Coba kalau mau itu
Such a calm team, such a coordinated team.
Disamperin kah? Assalamualaikum. Sorry nih ya pulang ya, apa-apa udah.
Assalamualaikum, thank you.
GG guys, GG. Gama.
Asia Gaming.
Udah amat sama Fnatic lah. Nggak peduli.
They do pretty good here, I think. They've improved a lot, just a lot more to work on.
Nggak semewah yang awal-awal sih anjing.
Thank you very much, MLB Dota and John X Fire, and congratulations to PSG.LGD. They really got some wins themselves in the series. They continue their run in the lower bracket, but of course,
guys.
the Boom Esports, the last SEA
guys.
are out,
and
another 0-2. What do you guys make of the match?
Magriban dulu lah, abis itu langsung lah. GG thank you lah.
I believe NLP said the best as well. Cool, collected, calm the whole game. The way they played against Boom was just on point.
Baru salaman tadi sama tim Boom.
Showing their class.
Oh iya, tungguin dulu dia belum balik.
Even though they were losing a little bit at the beginning, it never felt like it's out of their hands, out of their control. The way they fight is they force you to fight where they want to, and they have an undying with the tombstone. They force you next to a cliff, they pop that tombstone on the cliff, they win every single fight off of that.
Yeah, Sheep, you mentioned the way the LGD fight is, something else. Could you really kind of sum it up and how they kind of forced Boom Esports?
Yeah, I love the execution of their fights as a team because they are a ball. They want to be a ball. They have a team that when they get split apart, that's how they get picked off and die to this rupture and being, just pulled apart. And they don't let that happen because they have really non-committal ways of engaging them. This long-range Fisher from Earthshaker, this slight interchange by Ember. They don't ever have to have someone blink ahead. And that way they're all able to just keep together on top of this drow, keep her sustained with the Undying Heals, these auras from Visage. Basically everything just was very synergized.
And T, it really seemed that Boom Esports, they did their KBs, but they almost had to be perfectly timed because as soon as they were out, the came in and all that control, and then the drow was just super safe. So sometimes they felt like they kind of, were just, a little bit not nervous, but a little bit, trigger happy.
Gua nemu di mana ini anjir.
And they're gonna feel that in the game. Guys, we beat PSG in the lane. We have the advantage. One fight's gonna be Roshan. That's gonna be everything.
Kan dikirim pulang ya.
In our favor, but they never found that moment because they had
tanggal merah ya guys.
on his Earthshaker, just incredibly disciplined with his ability to find the fishes, to find this way to disconnect the team. So even if for BKB, guess what? You can't run through the vision. And the amount of times that he'd find the Death Prophet on the left, everyone else on the right, and then the Drow's like free
Bo
game,
menang.
gonna shoot from a distance.
It's also the problem of biting a little bit more than they can
Tuh,
chew.
EG lan
They
becet,
win
lu lihat
3
dah
fights in a
pingnya.
row, but they go
Ngeselin
for
banget
the
bangsat.
fight when they're like 50% mana, 70% HP, they go uphill, they go to the high ground, into the
Dikirim pulang kan.
way I really wish we see a highlight of Drow sitting behind the